Women get turned on and chase this type of guy who is non-needy. Now, this word gets thrown around a lot, and in this video, we are going to talk about in depth what being non-needy is and how if you just become this non-needy guy, everything else, the tricks, all the hacks, they take care of themselves and women just chase you. Expect to know what non-needy behavior is and what non-needy men do, and lastly the process of becoming a non-needy guy. Beautiful. So let's define what needy really means. And it's a man who is always looking for validation from external stimuli. I have done this for a very long time in my life, and maybe you are doing it. So let's see how this affects us. Now, being needy does not only affect the dating life, it cuts across every aspect of life. So whether it's in your work or whatever, so it cuts across every single aspect of life. Now, it turns off women very quickly. And here are some examples of what needy behavior looks like. Before we get into the examples, like the video. The mission is to get this video to 10,000 men, and I can't do it alone. So like the video because it helps with the algorithm, and let's help as many guys as possible become non-needy. All right, let's get back into the examples. Now, the first example is laughing the entire time when you are with women. Now, I am saying with women, but generally it cuts across every interaction. So when I was a needy guy, what happened to me was that I could not contain my emotions and I would be laughing, and this is the nervous laughter where I am communicating, hey, I'm not really a threat, so don't try and bring up any confrontations because I am not a threat. And this happens naturally. You find yourself that you are just the type of guy who is always laughing at even lame jokes, or you are laughing when you become nervous, when you say something risky to women. You add laughter to make it less serious. So if you're doing this, know that this is a very, very needy behavior. And then blowing up with texts. Now, you can see that this guy has sent over 10 texts, and it might be one, it might be two, but the point is that when you say, for example, text a woman and she sees your text, then trying to confirm, hey, did you see the text, or why are you ignoring me? Or I have a friend who does that actually. Why are you ignoring me? Or, doing all that kind of thing that makes you seem you are a bit too desperate or you are a bit too needy. This is needy behavior. The next one is kissing ass. You might be kissing women's ass by being the type of guy who is a pushover. You are trying to make them happy so that they can give you some. And this even happens at work. You can see those guys who are always trying to kiss the boss's ass, or kissing everybody's ass so that you are in good favor with them. This actually hurts you because nobody really respects you. If you can't stand your ground and say, I am not willing to do this, then obviously no one will respect you. You'll be the dorag, and obviously women are never really turned on by this type of behavior. Now, there is also another aspect of neediness that is hidden, and I'm sure most of you don't do what we've just talked about. I'm sure most of you are aware of the needy situations, but the hidden neediness comes when you start, say for example, self-improvement. When I started, I was this very needy guy, and I went from being very needy to being very selfish. And when I say selfish, that was the borderline narcissism, where I only cared about me. And I think if you are in this journey, you kind of have to go through you have to go from being needy to being very selfish so that you know where the sweet spot is. But it's still needy. You are not authentic, and the reason why you care about only yourself is because you don't really want to get hurt. and you don't trust people, which is still a form of neediness. Now, there are other forms of neediness, and also when you start playing games, so you have nothing to do. So when a woman texts you, you say, I am going to text her after 4 hours, and you literally have nothing to do. You can text her right away. Or when you play games like I'm not the type of guy to say goodnight, or having a mask, like when you go approaching women or talk to women, you present this different type of person. But when you go back home, you go back to your needy self, the loser who is struggling with women. But when you're out there, you are this charismatic, charming guy. So when you are playing these games, you are also needy because you're not authentic. And this brings us to what non-neediness is, and how do non-needy guys behave. So in one word, the only thing that I could say about non-neediness is being authentic. What does being authentic really mean? So ask yourself this question: what do you want, or what do you like? And generally this cuts across everything, but we can start with dating and women. So what do you want? And then what are your intentions with whatever it is that you want? And then lastly, what are you going to do to get it? So those 3 questions will actually make you authentic, and I will show you how in just a minute. Now, the secret to achieving this authenticity and vulnerability, oh my god, yes, vulnerability, is independence. Now, when I say independence, I just mean that you make choices that you decide, these are the things that I want. And this brings us to these questions like, what do you really want, and what are your intentions? And if you make choices that align with what you want and align with your intentions, then obviously you are going to get the results that you want. But there are some common things that could hold you back. The first thing is parental approval. So whether it's your father, mostly it's usually your father. And if you don't have a father, some authority figure that has taken care of you. Now, for a long time, I viewed the world from the perspective of, is this going to please my father? And when I say kill your father, it means that the authority figure in your life that is controlling you, you need to swap that and become the authority who is in charge. Now you become the guy who is in control of what you want, because it brings us again to what do you want and what is your intention. The next thing is peer judgment, and this comes from your friends. So you'll find that maybe you have some toxic friends who are always putting you down. And if this is the case, then you need to get rid of your friends, weed them out. And again, I recommend that you actually learn to stay alone. When I say stay alone, I just mean being comfortable with solitude. Let them think whatever they want to think. Point is that you are going back to this again. You are doing what you want or what you like, and you are aligning yourself with the intentions of the results that you want. Now, lastly is the pain of actually starting. Now, the moment you begin something, it's going to feel uncomfortable. And the pain of discomfort of beginning something is usually more than the pleasure of just being comfortable and not changing. So, understanding that there will be pain and just doing it despite of that pain, and it will reach a point where you won't feel that pain. And say for example you go to the gym. There was a time when in the beginning stages your body was aching everywhere, but now when you have gone there for like 6 months, 1 year, it's just normal. You don't even feel that pain. So it's the same analogy here. Let's simplify this. Time is everything, and when I say time, I mean that the things that you do in your free time, they determine whether you are, back again to here, you are doing what you want and you are aligned with your intention. In your free time, do things. Start that side hustle, or do that. Go out and experience the world. Do the things that you truly desire. This is what makes you non-needy, because the moment you have things to do, then you don't actually need other people to make you feel joy or to make you feel happy, because you are already doing things. And that's the whole point of this. All right, let's talk about women. Number one, what do you want? So defining exactly what you want from women, like I want to sleep around, or I'm looking for a wife, or I'm looking for a girlfriend. Having that definition in mind is the first step to becoming non-needy. Number two is being honest with your intentions. So you might find that, say for example, you want a serious relationship, but the girl wants a casual thing. So cut her off. Or the other way around. You want something casual, she wants something serious. Be honest with your intentions and tell her, hey, this is what I'm looking for right now. And if you think this is not going to work, it's okay. No hard feelings. We move on. Number three is coming up with a strategy that is long-term, that gets you in abundance mindset. For me, is getting rejected twice a day. Now, this sometimes can be hard because you might approach 10 women and they still don't reject you. And this brings us to our next step, which is the screening process. Now, you have this system that is bringing you these options, and we need to screen so that we can get the best quality. That means we get the women who we want and the women who are attracted to us, and they fit the criteria of what we want. Now, this is one thing that I'm giving you permission to do. You are not obligated to text any woman or to call any woman just because she calls you or she texts you. And here's the thing, if you don't have anything to say, why try to force things? It is what it is. If you have nothing to say, don't say anything. Let her marinate in her own thoughts. So I'm giving you permissions to ignore women when you actually have nothing to say. And then lastly, it's the process. So this process will get you from being needy to being non-needy. Step number one is defining clearly what you want from women and even work or everything in your life. Defining clearly what you want. Step number two is defining who you are. Now, you are defined by your own actions. You might say, I am this strong, confident guy, but your actions say otherwise. So this means that you look at your actions right now. What do they say, or who do they look at your actions right now? Who do they describe? And then look at, okay, if this is who I am, this is who I want to become, then actually stick to the actions that make you the other type of person. So you'll find that for me, I am an entrepreneur, and most of what I do is business. So business comes first, and regardless of anything, business will always come first. But later in the future, I don't know, but for now, business comes first. Number three is defining the type of woman that you actually want and who you will have the best experience with while putting in the least amount of effort. For her, I don't know, but for me, I like putting in the least amount of effort. An example would be like, I am looking for an independent woman who has something going on in her life. And then obviously she has to be beautiful, she has to have some, big booty or whatever. And then number four is executing the plan. And execution is putting what you want to do in your schedule. So this could be like taking a walk after lunch. And when I'm taking that walk, my goal is to get rejected twice. Simple. You find that it's easy to do it because now it becomes part of you, part of what you do. And then lastly is screening. And this is the most important thing because you can waste a lot of time here. So being brutally honest and weeding out the women who don't fit the profile. This will actually make you non-needy 100%. And now that you are non-needy, then these are the results. You are more confident, you have more options, and you have a system that keeps you in that options where you have abundance mindset. And it's that abundance mindset that makes you care less and you become less needy. Now, women will have no choice but to chase you. So comment your thoughts on what you think I missed.